Buenos dias. While I'm currently working around the clock with Cosmos only being 4 weeks out, there is one topic that I could not miss to share with you, and that is the crazy story of ATOM1, ticker ATONE. To give you some more context on what this project is all about and everything that you probably need to know, I want to also share briefly 2 content pieces that I think are helpful for you to understand. So if you type in 𝗪𝗂 Jae Kwon, you will find true interviews that I have done with Jae Kwon, with the original inventor of the Tendermint consensus algorithm. So this man is an early pioneer. Without him, I think proof of stake would not be what it is today, right? He's just been an absolute OG. We're speaking 2012, 2013, when no one even thought about crypto or blockchains. He was already thinking about scaling them. And that has also been a story that fascinated me personally in my journey, is that the groundwork of what Cosmos is, what Tendermint is, now Comet BFT, IBC, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, the Cosmos SDK, ABCI, all these components of the Cosmos tech stack that they actually date back to over a decade ago. And I think very few blockchain ecosystems can actually claim that, right? So first I want to say that I truly respect Jae Kwon for what he has built, and I think that he's a brilliant and very smart mind. And again, I strongly encourage you to watch my interview I did a one-on-one session with him back in 2022. The first one, I was quite nervous, to be honest, to speak with him because I've read so many papers. I've read the white paper, of course. I've read so many things about him that I was very nervous getting into that. And he was speaking all about NoLand, which is his new smart contract platform that is also connected to ATOM1. I can also share more on that. And then also, his views on Atom in general. So that was one part. The second part, which was a live stream I did with 𝗪𝗪 𝗂𝗹𝗵, founder of Osmosis, and also 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗁, which is his fierce rival. So there's this sort of rivalry. That's how I see it as an outsider. Of course, there's 2 strong opinions that have clashed, that have collided. I think I have the last publicly available conversation between 𝗪𝗪 and Jae Kwon. I don't know if they speak to each other. They don't really like each other that much. I will just put it like that. But I think, I was very excited and proud to get them in one room. And for me, my personal goal with this has always been to figure out a way how I can reunite the vibes in Cosmos, reunite the smartest brains and minds, right? And you can see 3 of them that have been agreeing to do an interview on my channel around 2 years ago. Many others have been here on the channel over the years, but I think I kind of failed in my mission to unite the Cosmos and to bring these smart minds on the same team again, right? And I guess that was a bit naive of myself. Maybe that's just on me, but at least I've tried the best I could. Anyways, in that interview, Jae Kwon also broke down the token model of ATOM1, which at that time was not yet public, but he still broke down how he would have loved for the Cosmos Hub and Atom to have that token model, right? And you can also see 𝗪𝗪 sharing his comments on that and all those kind of things. So I strongly recommend that. And remember, this was also at a time where Atom 2.0 was either in the works or just announced. I don't remember exactly what timeline that was. That was announced at Cosmos in Medellin, Colombia, Cosmos late September 2022. So I think that interview was actually shortly after that, if I don't, because that was in my Lisbon crib. But anyways, that's 2 videos I think that are very helpful for you to watch going into this video or after that. Anyways, ATOM1 is a fork of the Cosmos Hub that has launched on February 27th. So I've also done a video here the day went live, and it is a fork by Jae Kwon, original inventor of Cosmos, who just came to a point where he did not agree with the direction that the Cosmos Hub and Atom was going. This one, for example, which I also helped co-author, the Atom halving proposal that has passed, which cut the Atom roof inflation from 20% to 10%. Remember, Atom has a dynamic inflation between back then 7 and 20%, and then the proposal was to cut the roof from 20% down to 10% so that we would kind of lower the massive inflation rate that Atom had, because back then, after the failure of Atom 2.0, a lot of people unstaked, which increased the Atom inflation, and with it also staking rewards, of course. The theory here is that, big staking rewards incentivize more people to stake, so that would actually combat it, but we did not see that, and we're actually not seeing it today either, because what matters in the end of the day is a combination between sound tokenomics and also product market fit. On-chain and off-chain product market fit, narrative, branding, all these kind of things also factor in. Anyways, this proposal passed, which I actually think was cool, but as a result of that, Jae Kwon got accelerated his plans, I should say, to launch ATOM1 and to also make it so that the distribution, the initial distribution of ATONE tokens would also be packed to those that have voted on that proposal and how they voted, right? So if you voted yes, you get a smaller allocation. If you voted no, you get a larger allocation. And also, if you had staked your ATOM tokens, then you would get a larger, but then it also depended who you stake with. So certain validators were gray-listed or blacklisted. I'm not sure, even 𝗬𝗂, I think we did get the airdrop, of course. I'm not sure if there was some sort of gray listing on us. But yeah, that's what it is. Anyways, I did get a few tokens, very small amount though, which I still held some of them, not all of them. I sold some of them when it kind of launched, because you can see here when it came out in February, or was it January? Late January actually. Then the token went up. The token price went to like $2, $2.50. So I think I sold some of them around there. But I also actually staked some, and I also, I staked some, and I hold them to this day. Because in the end of the day, again, I think Jae is a very brilliant mind. I think, of course, there's also a social layer to it, which has caused many conflicts over the years. I have never been working neither with Interchain Foundation, nor with Interchain Labs, nor with All in Bits. Like, I've never been employed or, had any insights on the behind the scenes, I should say. But yeah, of course, many people have told me different stories, which is something that I think could probably make for a good cinema movie one day, but I don't really want to get into, and it's also not my expertise, right? I can't speak about something that I don't personally like fully know. So anyways, what has happened? Well, in fact, since the token launched, it has gone down only. It went down only to 30 cents, 25 cents, 20 cents, and even I think below 20 cents. I think I saw it at 15 cents. What has happened in the past week though, specifically in the past 72 hours, is absolutely crazy. September 28th, something happens, right? Price doubles out of nowhere. Price doubles on September 28th. Price continues to go up. 60 cents, 70 cents, $1. September 29th. So 28, 29, we see price pumping. Now comes October 1st. October 1st, ATOM1 opens here at $1.23, and then it shoots up to $6, $7 and peaks out at $12.61 is what Osmosis is recording here, but in fact, it went to above $17. So it did a 15x within 24 hours, which is unheard of. Like, that's crazy. That's what meme coins maybe do that have just graduated from pump.fun. That's maybe what coins do that have barely any liquidity and get listed on Upbit, what they do, but that's not what a Cosmos coin does, right? Well, what actually happened was that Jae Kwon, with All in Bits funds that still has, as you can tell, 4.8 million atoms, 4.787, which equates to around $20 million. He started selling or swapping those atoms into ATONE. And you can see, scroll down here, everything is on chain. September 28th, this has started. He sent 440K atom, another 400K. October 1st, another 400K, 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 another 1.2. So millions of atoms were sent, around $7 to $10 million. I think that's around about the number. I mean, there's public threads out there that are much more precise, but millions of dollars were used to swap Atom into ATONE. And what actually happened was this crazy candle that, in fact, for a very short period of time, flipped the Atom market cap. So ATONE flipped the market cap of Atom of around $2 billion with that aggressive 17x move intraday, which in fact was a 90x or 100x from this 17 cents. In fact, from 17 to $17, that's pretty much 100x, like within 4 days. And there was liquidity and volumes because Jae Kwon or AIB or that wallet put in millions of dollars into buying ATONE. Now, what did some people do? Well, some people, they dug out their old 𝗬𝗹𝗿𝗀 wallets, their dusty 𝗬𝗹𝗿 wallets, and they saw that there were some ATONE in their wallets, which I also strongly encourage you to check that out, because even ATONE at $1 could be a few $100s that are laying around in your wallet, which you can do by just clicking on the 𝗬𝗹𝗿 widget, and then you type in ATOM1, and you see that chain is not enabled here, so you enable that chain, and then you'll see if you hold any ATONE. So do that right now. If you want to stake it, you can stake it 52% APR roundabout. Again, we're not running a validator here. I think, yeah, Jae, I don't know if he likes me or not. Of course, it would be nice if we were on good terms. But yeah, we're at least not running a validator with 𝗬𝗂 at this point in time. And again, at this point, I still wish that there was some sort of alignment. But looking at what just happened here, I think that is very unlikely, unfortunately. Anyways, Jae started swapping Atom for ATONE, which might in fact also have other consequences, because of course there are legal constraints, there's other things which I don't want to get into. It's not neither my field of expertise, not my business, right? Anyways, ATOM1 pumps to $17, flips Atom market cap. Next day, crashes down to $1, below $1, now sits at exactly $1 as I'm recording this video. What does that teach us? Well, it teaches us that liquidity is king. Price chart alone doesn't matter that much if it doesn't stick, if it doesn't sustain. He did probably make some people rich. He probably also got some people to FOMO in at $3, $4. I saw people tweeting that like, oh man, I should have bought it $4, like I was thinking. I mean, if you bought it $4, I mean, either you were lucky and you just flipped it at 8, 10, 12, whatever, or you're now sitting 75% in a loss at, within a day or something, which, that would also not be ideal, of course. Let me know if you managed to profit from this. If you still have some ATONE in your wallet, again, just go here in your 𝗪𝗃, check it out, type in ATOM1, enable the chain if you haven't enabled it, and you will see if you have ATONE tokens sitting here. And then you can either sell them by bringing them onto Osmosis, or you can stake them at 51%. Note, however, that you will need some photon tokens, which is why I recommended you also to listen to my interview that I did with Jae and Sunny and also with 𝗪𝗪𝗁, because there he breaks that down, why that is necessary, or not necessary, but why that is a good concept, because there's also a burning relationship between photon and ATONE is the staking token and photon is the gas token. So anyways, that's that. So you'll need to get some photon, which you can get on Osmosis, and then you can start using that chain. There's also only one IBC connection, as far as I understand, between ATOM1 and Osmosis. There's no other IBC connection, which means you can't use any other DEX. It's also only listed here. ATONE is not listed anywhere else. Now, Jae, or ATOM1, has also launched this video here on the ATOM1 Morningstar, which seems to be a new podcast format, which is only 10 minutes. In the interview, asked Jae about why he started ATOM1, what's the purpose, what's the kind of point of ATONE, the token, what's photons, and why he started Cosmos in the first place. So now the question is, where is this all going from here? Was flipping the Atom market cap as kind of a meme just the objective he wanted to achieve? Will he do it again? Will it stick more this time? What other things are coming, right? There's this V3 upgrade coming. There's the no-land mainnet launch and TGE coming up, which is still not there yet. But yeah, we'll see. I'll definitely keep monitoring and documenting and sharing updates on ATOM1, on Jae Kwon and everything that's developing here, and hope that you somehow manage to make some money here. And maybe that, which is also bringing me to my next topic, will have some positive spillover effects into the Cosmos ecosystem in some way, shape, or form, right? Because in the end of the day, in German we have a saying, der lachende Dritte, the laughing third. I don't know if that doesn't sound right in English, but you know, Osmosis in the end of the day has profited from this, massive volumes. It stress tested the chain, 1.3 second block times. It stress tested ProtoRef and their burn mechanism, which burned around 100K Osmo tokens just on that single day. $65 million daily volume on October 2nd, which is the highest it's seen in months. I'm not sure in years, but definitely in months. So is this a trend reversal for Osmosis? Has this sparked new interest? Are people now forced to come back and check their 𝗪𝗃 wallets for ATONE tokens? And then they'll see, oh, 𝗪𝗃 has a new logo. Oh, 𝗪𝗃 has all these new functions. And Osmosis is cool. And oh, now they have a burn mechanism. Maybe, is that wishful thinking of myself? Also, maybe to a degree, I don't know. But yeah, that's what it is. Now, if you want to, if you're curious, if you want to get an update, TLDR on all the latest, you can also join Cito Plus, which is our premium community by 𝗬𝗏. 𝗪𝗏 from my team, big shout out. Asking if there's a comeback season. Hopefully. 𝗪𝗏 is leading that project. And you can just join that, $39 a month. There's also larger discounts on 6 or 12 month packages. And then you can also just type in yo, please update me. I've been out for the last 6, 8, 12 months. What is going on? And we'll help you. We'll help to get you your ATONE. We'll help to get you to Osmosis. We'll help to get you up to speed on everything else as well. Which brings me to the next topic, which is the Cosmos ecosystem in general, the state of it. Because, I don't know, after this ATONE pump, we have seen some coins bouncing a little bit, I should say it like that. Of course, we're still far, 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 far away from any territory that makes us happy, but we are at least seeing something, right? Agoric up 25%, Chihuahua 13, Osmosis 17 cents now, which, I mean, this should trade at a 10x from here, like $1.60, $2, and then it should be, and then it should still be undervalued, right? That's where Osmosis should be. But the reality is it's at 17 cents, and that's what it is. In the meantime, also quick update on that. I did have a call with Sunny. I think I shared that like 2 weeks ago. Now I got him on the phone finally, which is great. Great to hear him. Still massively respect him, of course. And also share with him that, to be honest, at this point, I don't even know what Osmosis stands for. Is it a DEX? Is it a Bitcoin L2? Is it Polaris? Is it this? Is it that? Now, they're also talking more and more about privacy, which would be, again, a new direction, a new narrative. So I think Osmosis needs to consolidate and focus really on the core, which is, in my opinion at least, that it's a DEX, right? It's dDEX in Cosmos. And we've seen it now with ATONE, that this is what it does really, really well, especially with concentrated liquidity, right? Because there's only very, very small liquidity. By the way, the LPs here have earned a lot with that massive volume the other day and are getting like 500% APR for LPing. So even if you LP'd here, then you probably get some good benefits here or some good profits. But yeah, other than that, I think Osmosis, of course, I'm still holding my Osmo bags. Am I doubling down here? I mean, I've bought some more at 14 cents. I wish I could just buy more and deploy more. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my Osmo bag. And I hope it just recovers quickly because we urgently need a lot of these OG Cosmos coins to do better, right? To do well. Stargaze, 1/10 of a cent. Secret, 18 cents. Koreum holding up quite strong, but that's also, I would say, a newer generation Cosmos project, right? So yeah, we're seeing some bounces. Atom has absorbed the sell pressure quite well, I would say. I mean, this is again the strength of a coin that's been around for so many cycles, that's seen it all, that has deep liquidity in all large exchanges, listed on Binance, Coinbase, you name it, Upbit, listed absolutely everywhere. But and the founder or original inventor has just sold millions of atoms, millions in dollars and millions of atoms, but the price is still at $4.20. So that's the power of Atom. And one of the most under-recognized weapons of Atom is that it has this deep liquidity, which makes it interesting for traders, which makes it interesting for institutions, and for any large organization that looks into those things. Akash 105, also in my view, crazy. TIA 147. So overall, we're not doing well in Cosmos. Like, let's just honest, right? Like, we're not price-wise, we're not doing well. Development-wise, product-wise, vision-wise, I think there's like Cosmos is second to none. And I'm very, very convinced and committed that eventually this will reflect on the charts, right? And again, maybe this ATONE event has triggered and caused a new spark of the existing Cosmos community, but also outsiders, right? They're looking like, how is this ATONE thing on page one? Why is it trending? Why is it up 1,600% today? Like, I mean, those things are crazy. And yes, it has dumped and gone back to $1, but that's still 4 or 5x to where it was a week ago. So now getting into minor stories, other stories, a new transparency report by the Interchain Foundation on their treasury. They always do this monthly treasury snapshots. So the Interchain Foundation, the leading Cosmos foundation in that sense, $281 million worth of assets, of which 69 million are in fiat, which is 3 million less compared to last month. So last month 72, now 69. And also there was some reduction in the Atom position for some reason, 15 million and 12,000 compared to 50 million and 72. So 60K atoms were sold off or transferred or swapped or whatever. I mean, swap basically means sold off. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's a reason for that. I don't know. Anyways, that's the snapshot, down 10 million. But also I think because the asset prices have gone down, yeah. Specifically ETH, Atom, TIA, have all gone down from previous months. But yeah, let's see. Maybe we're now primed for a bullish Q4 and there will be some more momentum and also a bit of a comeback story for Cosmos tokens. Another thing that is kind of connected to what I said in the beginning, Proposal 848. If you've been a subscriber to this channel, then you have heard me speak about this a lot over the past years. Not too much over the past year, but the years before that for sure, which is the topic around atom inflation. And Mark, the co-CEO of Interchain Labs, or now Cosmos Labs, has said a week ago that he thinks we should end atom inflation, which I think is a bit like, I mean, now we're kind of reviving these conversations from years ago. I was also very much on that train, which is also why I helped co-author the atom inflation proposal, halving proposal, I should say. And also I was heavily in favor to ship a second proposal, which would remove the 7% floor for atom inflation. So right now, the inflation is between 7 and 10%, which I think is not ideal. I think we should still remove this 7% floor, because then the more people would stake, we would have an incentive and a pathway for Atom to organically go to 0% inflation. If there's an on-chain business model or some sort of hybrid off-chain model, which is obviously not a case, then there could actually be a pathway for 0% or even deflation, right? Organically. So this is what I still think is the case. But at the same time, also, if we were just to hard code inflation to 0, I think this would also cause another mass exodus of stakers, of validators, right? The validator business is a very, very tough business. And you can always point at validators and say, hey, you guys are selling your rewards, you're evil, right? But at the same time, that's the only revenue source for validators. So validators live from staking rewards, from their commissions of staking rewards, right? Many validators, especially us at Cito, we don't have another source of income for the validator business, right? So it's purely that. And I think, especially if prices go down, there's barely any other option, right? Of course, if Atom was at $60, like many validators wouldn't have to sell as much, but then of course there would be more sell pressure probably from generally kind of from stakers that are just there to kind of farm. But I think that's also not going to fix it. And like Brian is pointing out, the position here is still unclear, which I also want to kind of counter and say, like, Brian has been at the steering wheel for quite some time, around a year or 2 years ago. So yeah, he could have also proposed concrete ways to fix that and to provide a clear vision for the Cosmos Hub. Just write it down, make this an official statement from the ICF, and that's it, right? Because he was the president of the Interchain Foundation for some time, for like a year almost. But yeah, so I kind of agree with both, but that's the moral conflict in Cosmos, that like there's a lot of great ideas, but I think every 2 years we're kind of circling back to ideas that have been discussed very in depth and that have not led to results. So we'll see. But yeah, 𝗬𝗂𝗋𝗵𝘁 also chiming in here, saying that the vision for Atom is that numerous companies and governments will build their own L1, 100%. Users will buy software, licenses, and services like bridging, exchanges, etc. from ICL or Cosmos Labs, and Atom dads who buy Atom. So off-chain business model by providing services for governments, institutions to build their own chains, and then use part of that revenue to buy and burn or whatever, to buy Atom, at least to cause that kind of flywheel of value accrual and flywheel of buy pressure, I guess. The Atom vision moves from alignment of validators to alignment with the network of sovereign chains, which could work. But then again, I think this requires also some large and like signaling in the market, right? I think that's also something Cosmos has never really mastered, is signaling, because in the end of the day, if you look at other ecosystems, their prices and their theses from their investors are also mostly around who are their partners, who is invested, who are they speaking with. That's just how things are, right? And I think in Cosmos, we have a lot of upside there as well. Now, switching over to dYdX, which is a very, very on-chain user-centric product. I'm also wearing the hoodie, which they sent me a couple of months ago. Great quality, by the way. Big shout out. We have part 2 of the Cito Perps Wars, the Cito campaign, coming very, very shortly, and you will have to register here. So phase 1 has completed. In fact, we also have the largest prize pool here. We will have another 4K USDC prize pool. So you can already come here, click on our campaign, and bookmark this page, because once registration goes live, you'll see a green button that says register now. And then you just register, you create a name, you connect your wallet to also receive that prize money and to track your performance. And then as soon as the competition ends, you will get your prize pool distributed immediately, right? It's like super fast. So do that, check that out. On the other hand, dYdX also making progress with more integrations now on Telegram. We talked about this, but now Pocket Pro bot is live, which is powered by dYdX. So that is very good to see. It's getting more and more out there. Obviously, now we have this perps trading meta with Aster that has basically killed hyperliquid revenues for a short amount of time. I'm not sure how it looks today, but when it came out, it absolutely smashed it. Then, of course, we have hyperliquid still king. dYdX still lagging behind, but maybe they can pull it off. At least they are aggressively pushing now, and they are also well-funded. They have a strong team. They have a strong network. So eventually, I think dYdX is going to pop, but we'll see. Next, we also have updates from Celestia. 32 megabyte blocks are now live on the Arabica testnet. Next up is Mainnet. So we keep scaling, we keep increasing. We also see more and more projects using and migrating or upgrading, they say, to Celestia, like Bullet here, for example. We talked about 𝗪𝗵𝘁, we talked about XO markets, and many others that are using Celestia for DA. And eventually we also make use of all that block space and hopefully there will also be a fee increase, at least a slight one, and then we can go to millions in on-chain revenue generated by providing data and making that available to applications and rollups. Then we also have another chain that is now live, Anoma, the XAN token. I was actually very surprised when I saw it. It was like $2.5 billion FTV or something like that. There's also an airdrop, not for cosmonauts, as far as I understand. I actually haven't checked as well, but you can come here, connect your wallet. 𝗬𝗹𝗺 is listed here, so there might be something, but yeah, check your eligibility. Maybe you get something. I think Cito primarily, 𝗬𝗪𝗺 are getting that airdrop. But yeah, we'll see. Anoma now live on Mainnet. Then we also have an update on the Babylon airdrop. There is another kind of baby bonus stake and reward airdrop for phase 1 Bitcoin stakers who successfully transitioned to phase 2. So if you held your Bitcoin stake open during the transition phase, then you are eligible and you will just get that airdrop. So you don't have to do anything. It will just land in your wallet. No action required. Then also 𝗬𝗪𝗶𝗵𝗁 coming very soon. This is the native asset issuance chain or the stablecoin chain of Cosmos that has pioneered that all. Now also we have the app layer that is coming alongside the 𝗬𝗪 TGE that is around the corner, where you could also farm these points that will eventually translate into tokens. Finally, I want to leave you with that thought from Jano, founder of Blockworks. The last years can be categorized by assets moving on chain. The next years will be categorized by companies moving on chain. We're now seeing a also cultural shift in crypto from the OG kind of movement to now a merge with the traditional world, with institutions, with governments, with regulators, right? We're going to see more discussions around compliance, around regulation, around also just institutions building their own chains in a permissioned way, many of them, right? And again, this is what a Cosmos stack enables, from permissionless on-chain ecosystems to permissioned kind of systems that are used for one specific use case, maybe by one specific party. So full flexibility, full modularity, full customization. That's the end vision for Cosmos, and all of that interconnected through IBC. In the best case, there's also some sort of use case or service that ATOM could provide to also finally benefit from that. I'm sure that conversation will come up sooner or later again as well. Now to wrap it up, I want to leave you again with my interview with Jae Kwon 𝗪𝗁, and also the one-on-one I did with him, and also watch that ATOM1 video I did here, like a year ago, a year and a half, where we talked about that. Anyways, I hope you're well. I hope you have a great week. I hope to see you at Cosmos in Split, Croatia in 4 weeks. I'm gonna go back to work now. Until then, stay safe and be good.